Welcome to Sehat Spectrum. Today, we are going to explore one of the most misunderstood aspects of modern life, stress. We often talk about stress as something negative, something to eliminate completely. But the truth is, stress is not your enemy. It's a signal, a physiological and psychological response that your body uses to help you adapt, protect yourself, and even grow stronger. The problem arises when stress becomes chronic and when the same system that was designed to help you survive starts working against you. So let's understand what stress really is, scientifically and practically. When you encounter a stressful situation, whether it's a deadline, an argument, or a major life change, your brain's amygdala, the emotional center, sends a distress signal to the hypothalamus, which then activates your body's fight or flight response. Through the autonomic nervous system, your adrenal glands release adrenaline and cortisol, preparing your body for action. Your heart rate increases, your breathing quickens, your muscles tense, and your brain becomes hyper-focused on the immediate threat. This response, known as the HPA axis activation, hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, is an ancient survival mechanism that helped our ancestors escape predators. However, in today's world, our threats are not usually physical, they are psychological. A stressful email, a financial concern, or an unresolved relationship can trigger the same physiological cascade. When this system is constantly turned on, the very hormones that are meant to protect us start causing harm. Chronic elevation of cortisol, for instance, suppresses the immune system, raises blood pressure, increases fat deposition, especially around the abdomen, and disrupts sleep and digestion. Prolonged stress can also alter brain structure. Research from Stanford University shows that chronic stress reduces the volume of the hippocampus, the brain region involved in memory and emotional regulation. Stress also influences our genes. The study of epigenetics has revealed that long-term stress can change how certain genes are expressed, particularly those regulating inflammation and mood. This means that stress doesn't just affect how you feel, it can literally reshape how your body functions at a cellular level. The American Psychological Association notes that chronic stress contributes to more than 60% of human illnesses, including cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and depression. But understanding stress is also about understanding perception. The same event can be stressful for one person and exciting for another. This is because stress begins in the mind, in our interpretation of events. As Dr. Kelly McGonigal from Stanford highlights in her research, your belief about stress determines its impact. If you view stress as harmful, your body reacts with tension and inflammation. But if you view it as a challenge, as energy that prepares you for action, your cardiovascular system remains more stable and your body recovers faster. This is known as the stress mindset effect. So before we try to eliminate stress, we need to first understand it, respect it, and learn how to work with it rather than against it. Because stress, in the right balance, is a catalyst for growth, physically, mentally, and emotionally. The science of coping and resilience. Now that we understand what stress is, let's explore how we can manage it, not by denying it, but by transforming it into resilience. In medical terms, resilience refers to the ability of the body and mind to return to equilibrium after a challenge. Scientifically, resilience is not a personality trait. It's a skill, a set of biological and psychological adaptations that can be strengthened through practice. When you experience stress, your body initially activates the sympathetic nervous system, but to recover, it must engage the parasympathetic system, often called the rest and digest mode. Practices such as deep breathing, mindfulness, and progressive muscle relaxation trigger this response by stimulating the vagus nerve, which lowers heart rate and blood pressure and helps the body return to balance. Research published in the Journal of Psychosomatic Medicine shows that even 5 minutes of slow, diaphragmatic breathing can significantly reduce cortisol levels. Exercise is another powerful tool. Regular physical activity increases the production of endorphins and brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a protein that supports neuron growth and improves mood regulation. Studies from Harvard Medical School confirm that 30 minutes of moderate exercise 5 times a week not only lowers anxiety, but enhances the brain's capacity to handle future stress. Nutrition plays a role too. Chronic stress depletes essential nutrients like magnesium, vitamin B complex, and omega-3 fatty acids, all of which are critical for neurotransmitter balance. Diets high in refined sugar and processed fats amplify stress responses by increasing systemic inflammation. So, maintaining a diet rich in whole foods, lean proteins, and antioxidants is not just good for the body. It's essential for a calm and balanced mind. Sleep, often underestimated, is perhaps the most potent natural stress stabilizer. During deep sleep, the brain's lymphatic system clears metabolic waste, including stress-related neurotoxins. Chronic sleep deprivation, on the other hand, elevates cortisol and impairs emotional regulation, creating a vicious cycle of fatigue and irritability. The National Sleep Foundation recommends 7-9 hours of quality sleep for adults, not as a luxury, but as a biological necessity. Finally, social connection, a factor often ignored in medical discussions, is a cornerstone of resilience. Human brains are wired for connection. When you talk to someone you trust, your brain releases oxytocin, sometimes called the anti-stress hormone oxytocin. Not only reduces anxiety, but also promotes repair of stress-induced cardiovascular damage. Research from the University of North Carolina found that people with strong social networks recover from stress 40% faster than those who feel isolated. Resilience also grows from mindset. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, has shown that by reframing negative thoughts, we can literally rewire the brain. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new neural connections, means that every time we choose a constructive response to stress, we strengthen the circuits of calm, control, and clarity. Over time, stress no longer dominates us. It becomes a teacher. From stress to strength. So how do we move from stress to strength? The answer lies not in avoiding discomfort, but in transforming it. The same physiological energy that powers stress can be redirected into focus, creativity, and growth. Think of stress as your body's way of saying, something important is happening. Pay attention. If we channel that energy wisely, it becomes a source of strength. The concept of eustress, introduced by endocrinologist Hans Selye, describes positive stress, the type that motivates and enhances performance. Public speaking, starting a new project, or even exercising are forms of eustress. They activate the same biological pathways as distress, but because our mindset frames them as opportunities rather than threats, the outcome is empowering. The key is interpretation. Transforming stress also involves purpose. Studies from the American Journal of Health Promotion show that people with a strong sense of purpose, whether through career, family, or personal goals, show lower levels of stress biomarkers even when facing challenges. Purpose gives meaning to effort. It turns chaos into clarity. Mindfulness practices help integrate this awareness. When we train the mind to observe thoughts without judgment, we reduce emotional reactivity. MRI studies from the University of Wisconsin reveal that mindfulness meditation decreases amygdala activation while increasing prefrontal cortex activity, the region responsible for rational thinking and self-control. In simple terms, mindfulness makes the emotional brain and the logical brain work together instead of against each other. Emotional intelligence is another critical component of strength. Recognizing and regulating one's emotions, as well as understanding others, improves not only personal well-being, but also professional effectiveness. High emotional intelligence correlates with lower cortisol levels and better immune function. Ultimately, the journey from stress to strength is about integration, balancing body chemistry, mental awareness, emotional regulation, and social connection. It's about seeing stress not as an obstacle, but as an invitation to grow. When we shift our perspective, we stop fighting stress and start learning from it. So the next time life feels overwhelming, pause and remind yourself, your body is not breaking down. It's preparing you to rise. Take a deep breath, engage your parasympathetic calm, and let that energy move through you. Stress is part of the human spectrum, but with understanding, resilience, and purpose, we can truly move from stress to strength. Thank you for watching Sehat Spectrum. I'm Dr. Rena, reminding you that your health is not the absence of struggle, but the harmony of strength. Stay mindful, stay strong, and stay healthy.